Hey there, and welcome to Practice Your Positive Daily, the podcast. I am so happy you're here. The sun is shining. I slept in a bed. I ate food. What more could you want? So today's episode, it's really the forehead tattoo I should get, but the forehead tattoo idea, which is let it go. We're going to talk about this one today, but we're going to come back to it because this is a big one. This is the one that, gosh darn it, I could remind myself 100 times a day to let it go. So we'll talk about that. But let's start with our sports analogy, right? When we think about our mindset and our attitude in sports and games, it's just so easy. It just makes so much sense. And so imagine you played a sport. Let's say you're playing soccer and you put all the equipment on for soccer. You put on shin guards and cleats and your jersey and you go play soccer for a while. Boy, it was really fun. You needed the cleats on the turf. It was really helpful. You didn't slip around. Great. Soccer's over. You're going to go swimming next. But what if you didn't take off your soccer equipment? Imagine now you're going swimming, but you have your cleats on and your shin guards and you put your swimsuit on over your jersey. How uncomfortable would it be to swim with all your soccer gear on? Okay, so you're done swimming and you're going to go play ice hockey. And so then you don't take off your gear, you hang on to all your gear, and then you go play ice hockey and you put your pads over a wet swimsuit. Ugh, how yucky would it be to be on the ice with a wet swimsuit, right? If you didn't let it go, if you didn't change the equipment, if you didn't take the time to let go, to take off the old stuff and put on the new stuff, right? It makes a ton of sense when we think about sports, games, fitness. So let's take that same idea and apply it to our mindset, our attitude, and our positive energy. What if you never let go of anything? Do you have a hard time letting go of things? Let it go, let it go. Anyway, so listen, that's the idea. Life is like that. Just like in the analogy, we go from one sport to another. We go from soccer to swimming to ice hockey to bowling, whatever. Those are like the phases of our life. Those are like the times that we're shaped by our relationships and where we are. When you're a child, maybe it was helpful to stay quiet and stay out of the way. Or maybe it was helpful to fight for everything you needed because you had a bunch of brothers and sisters. And then as you get older, those things aren't as helpful, just like cleats in a swimming pool. So as you go through each chapter in your life, from childhood to your teen years, to a new job, to a new profession, maybe you get married, you have relationships, we pick up equipment along the way to help us get through that portion of life, to help us get through that part of the game. But then as we move into another game, as we move into a new phase of our life, we need to let go of the old stuff. Right? And habits have a way of really fighting to stay there. They are habits because we do them so often, but they are learned. As much as they feel like these might be innately part of us, habits are not us. Habits are just a behavior that we picked up, and it is a matter of letting it go, just consciously bringing it to the forefront and saying, nope, I'm not going to use that anymore. I don't need that equipment. But let's keep this analogy going, right? It can be scary to change equipment, right? It can be scary. It can be scary to let go of our behaviors, our attitudes, relationships. It can be scary because for that brief moment, you know you're going to be naked, right? You know that it's going to be uncomfortable. Have you ever been swimming, even though you're cold, you just don't want to get dressed yet because you know there's going to be a moment where you're going to be colder. You're going to feel worse taking off your equipment before you put on warm, comfy, dry clothes. And it's very similar with our habits. It can be scary to let go. If you are the type of person that always does things this way on Monday and Tuesday, you're like, hey, I'm going to do something different. It can be kind of weird, right? It can feel uncomfortable. It can be a little scary that suddenly you have new equipment and you don't quite know how to use it and you're a little clumsy. But in time, as you let go of things that don't work for you, you will pick up new equipment, and that new equipment will be better suited to where you are now. And the last point is that when you let it go, just like in that sports analogy in the beginning, you're going to go faster and you're going to feel lighter. Lighter is one of the things that we are most looking for that will absolutely boost your positive energy, is to be lighter, to not be dragged down about what you did last week or who said what to you or that guy that was a jerk or your boss who sent you that email on a Friday at 5 p.m. or your kid who goofed up, all of those things, right? We hang on to all those things. And as we hang on to them, they weigh us down, just like having cleats in the swimming pool, right? Just like carrying a bowling ball around for 10 years, even though you don't bowl anymore. It's crazy, but we do it. And, at some point it was helpful, but if it's no longer helpful, you need to drop it. You need to slowly take these things off. Think about it. How much more energy would you have if you were just a little bit lighter? If things were just a little bit less serious? If you didn't have so many thoughts and dreams and worries that you were carrying around that you just didn't feel great about? How much lighter would you be? And listen, I'm not saying let go of everything. Just like talking about nutrition, don't go clean out your kitchen and throw everything away and say, I'll never eat this stuff again. That's bonkers. You know it's not going to happen. That's a big show. And honestly, it's just wasted energy that's going to drag you down and make you feel like you goofed up when really you didn't. Here on Practice Your Positive, we go slow and steady, small, consistent changes win the day, win the year, win the life. Small, consistent changes. So this week, as we think about letting it go, we're going to think about lightweight things to let go. That's where we're going to start. So if we kind of bucket the ideas of what we let go as like light, medium, and heavy, right? An example of something that might be heavy is if you had a lot of childhood trauma. That's not something that's just one day you just let go of and say, oops, I feel all better. It's like it never happened. It's a slow process, right? Medium stuff might be that relationship you had for a while where you didn't feel valued and the person wasn't really a good match. And so there was maybe some negative stuff back and forth. And then lightweight stuff is, the guy that honked at me because he thought I went first in traffic, or let go that I was late getting that email to my boss. So we're going to start with letting go of the lightweight stuff. Today's positive of the day, the move of the day, is think about 3 things, lightweight things that you can let go of. 3 things that when you think about what's been bothering you and the pressure you put on yourself or the demands or the negative self-talk, you're going to pick 3 lightweight things to let go of today. Okay? Let it go. Let it go. Like Frozen, let it go. And that's it. That's the other part of letting it go, is that not only do you let go of the negative stuff, but when you let go of that negative stuff, you can let the good stuff flow. You can let it go and let it flow, right? In boxing, we say, let your hands go. It means don't think about every punch. Don't be overthinking it. Let it flow. Let it go. Let your hands go. And when we're lighter, when we're not dragged down with all the negative stuff, with the negative news, with the negative people, with our own negative internal thoughts, when we're not dragged down, we're not weighed down with that, how much lighter can we be, and how much more can we lean into the person we really want to be? Can we really let our positivity flow and just water everything around us, just nurture everything around us? It's really a beautiful thing. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about letting it go, and it's something that it probably should be a forehead tattoo, but right now we're going to keep it as a podcast episode. So let it go. The positive of the day is to write down 3 lightweight things that you're going to let go of, and kind of just let this idea of like letting it go ruminate in your head. I love you so much. Thank you for being here today. I will see you tomorrow.